August 2002. A quiet English town, a summer evening, and two best friends who simply wanted to buy sweets. But within hours, they vanished. What began as a normal Sunday turned into one of the largest missing child investigations in British history, exposing a horrifying truth hidden in plain sight. The man responsible wasn't a stranger hiding in the shadows. He was someone the community trusted. This is the disturbing story of the Soham murders, a case that shocked the United Kingdom and forever changed how Britain protects its children. The small town of Soham was known for being peaceful and close-knit. In places like this, people felt safe, children played outside, neighbors knew each other, and crime was almost unheard of. On the morning of August 4th, 2002, 10-year-old Holly Wells was hosting a family barbecue at her home. Her best friend, Jessica Chapman, came over to join the celebration. The two girls had been friends for years. They laughed, played computer games, listened to music, and enjoyed the summer afternoon just like any other kids. Around 5 p.m., Holly's mother took a photo of the two girls standing side by side. They were wearing matching Manchester United football shirts, smiling brightly at the camera. That photo would later become one of the most recognizable images in British criminal history. At the time, no one knew that it would be the last picture ever taken of them alive. At around 6:05 p.m., Holly and Jessica quietly left the house. They didn't tell anyone. Their plan was simple: walk to a nearby sports center to buy sweets from a vending machine. A quick trip. Just a few minutes. But on the way, they walked past a house that belonged to a man they recognized. His name was Ian Huntley. Huntley worked as the caretaker at the local secondary school. The girls trusted him because his girlfriend, Maxine Carr, was a teaching assistant at their primary school. According to investigators, Huntley told the girls that Carr was inside the house. That simple lie was enough to convince them to step inside. But Carr wasn't there. She was actually visiting family in another city. And once the girls entered that house, they never came out again. Later that evening, Holly's mother went upstairs to call the girls down. But their bedroom was empty. At first, the families assumed they were just outside playing. But as time passed, worry began to grow. By 9:55 p.m., the girls were officially reported missing. Within hours, police launched a massive search operation. More than 400 police officers were deployed, along with hundreds of volunteers. Search teams combed through fields, roads, forests, and rivers. Even personnel from nearby U.S. Air Force bases joined the effort. The entire country began watching the case. And then, something strange happened. One of the people speaking publicly about the missing girls was Ian Huntley himself. During the investigation, Huntley gave interviews to journalists. Standing in front of cameras, he spoke calmly about the missing girls. He claimed he had seen them walking past his house that evening. He even expressed sympathy for the families. But behind the scenes, investigators began noticing inconsistencies in his story. Evidence slowly began pointing toward him. Meanwhile, his girlfriend, Maxine Carr, told police that Huntley had been with her during the time of the disappearance. But that statement was false. Phone records and witness accounts proved she had been in another city that day. She had lied to protect him. As investigators pieced together the timeline, the truth became harder and harder to ignore. 13 days after the girls disappeared, a gamekeeper made a grim discovery near RAF Lakenheath. Hidden in an irrigation ditch were the bodies of two children. The entire nation was devastated. The search that millions had followed on television had ended in tragedy. Investigators soon confirmed the worst fears of the families. The bodies were Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman. Evidence showed the girls had been murdered shortly after entering Huntley's house, most likely by asphyxiation. Huntley had then transported their bodies roughly 20 miles away and dumped them in a ditch, even attempting to burn them to destroy evidence. Soon after the discovery, police arrested Ian Huntley. In November 2003, Huntley's trial began at London's Old Bailey Court. Prosecutors described how Huntley had lured the girls into his home and killed them shortly afterward. Huntley tried to claim their deaths were accidental. He told the court one girl had drowned in a bathtub and the other died when he tried to silence her screams. But the jury did not believe him.
After deliberating for 17 hours, they found him guilty of both murders. In December 2003, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 40 years. Maxine Carr was also convicted for providing a false alibi and attempting to mislead investigators. She
received 3.5 years in prison. The Soham murders had a massive impact on British society. Many people began asking a critical question. How could someone with Huntley's past work at a school? Investigations later revealed that Huntley had been linked to multiple previous allegations of sexual assault, but poor information sharing between police forces meant that those records were not properly connected. This shocking failure led to a major reform in the UK's background check system. In response, the government introduced stronger vetting procedures for people working with children. These changes eventually led to the creation of systems designed to prevent individuals with dangerous histories from working in schools. Even decades later, the tragedy continues to resonate. The house where Huntley lived was eventually demolished. Memorials were built in Soham to honor Holly and Jessica. The girls were buried side by side in the town cemetery. For the families and the community, the pain never truly disappeared, but their memory helped bring lasting change. A tragedy that began with 2 children walking to buy sweets became one of the most significant criminal cases in modern British history. The Soham murders remind us of a disturbing truth. Sometimes the most dangerous people aren't strangers hiding in the dark. They are the ones standing right in front of us.